Minimoys. 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 Arthur and the Minimoys. I watched it recently 2 times.
Hey, so I'm editing the video, and I know that the movie here in America was called Arthur and the Invisibles, but I watched it on YouTube, and it was called Arthur and the Minimoys on there. Here's photographic proof. That's it. Eat my ass.
I have this habit where I go on YouTube and look through the free movies because they're usually awful, and I'll click on one and just watch the most viewed points of that movie. And recently I did that with Arthur and the Minimoys. And usually I never watch the movie ever again, never think about it ever again. But this movie was so weird that I had to watch it twice. Mostly it was just horny. Like every most viewed point of the movie was just horny. And it caught my interest, and now it sounds like I'm saying that because I'm horny, and it's not what I'm saying in the slightest. I'm saying, let's just run through the synopsis, because I don't really want to talk about the synopsis of the movie. I want to talk about how weird the movie is, but just real quick, Arthur is 10 years old. He lives in Connecticut with his grandma. It's 1960. His grandpa is missing
and mysteriously disappeared.
His grandpa has millions and millions and millions of dollars of rubies buried in the yard that he got from helping a tribe build an irrigation system in Africa, like however many years ago.
Who are they? The Bogo Matasalai. Your grandfather helped build an irrigation ditch for them, and in return, they gave him a big bag of rubies. Really? Really?
But now grandpa's missing, and grandma and Arthur are out of money, and the bank is going to foreclose on their house.
And if your husband does not sign this paper within the next 48 hours, I will be under the obligation to evict you from this property, whether your laundry's dry or not. No! You should hang him.
They have no means of making any money, so grandma goes into grandpa's office and just sells all of his stuff.
$300. Not very much for 30 years of memories.
But coincidentally, the only thing that the buyer didn't want to buy were these little banners that have messages to Arthur that are secret, telling him how to get to grandpa and finish his quest.
Some words may hide others. Of course.
My dear Arthur, I was sure I could count on you to find my riddle.
So Arthur follows the instructions. The tribe that grandpa built an irrigation system for show up and help send Arthur to the Minimoys land.
You only have 36 hours. At noon on the day after tomorrow, the gateway will close again for 1,000 days.
36 hours! I'll do my best!
Good luck, Arthur.
He gets there.
Welcome to the land of the Minimoy.
It's not funny. You really scared me. I thought I was gonna die in that. That's incredible.
What's incredible?
He meets the princess.
My humble respects, Princess Selenia.
Who told you my name?
He meets the king.
My humble respects, Your Majesty.
Yes.
He gets told that his grandpa was there, but it's in Malthazar's lair.
One day he left in search of his famous rubies. After wandering through the 7 lands which make up our world, he finally found it. Deep in the heart of the city of Necropolis, where he reigns supreme. The evil M.
In Malthazar, you don't escape from him.
And unfortunately, no one ever returns from the Forbidden Lands.
So he's probably dead, and then the princess and her little brother have a mission to go kill Malthazar.
I would like your permission to continue my mission.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with you, my child, but I must insist on one condition.
What condition?
So Arthur's like, I'll go with you because I'm going to go find my grandpa. Before she walks in, the princess is like, I'm going to go alone, but she kisses Arthur, and that means that they're married in the Minimoy land.
This is where our paths separate, Arthur. I have to deal with this alone.
What do you mean? I thought we were a team.
Well, the team is about to split up. You're gonna go look for your treasure, and I'm gonna take care of Em. If I succeed, we'll meet back here.
And if you fail?
If I should fail, I bequeath all my powers to you.
What do you mean?
Her first kiss has powers to it, and you learn that in the next scene because Malthazar wanted to be her first kiss because he's ugly, and apparently the first kiss from her would make him pretty again.
And This lovely flower alone has the power to release me from the spell that binds me and make me look like my old self again.
Only the very first kiss of a princess has the power.
I know, and if my information is correct, you are still unmarried.
Your information is a little out of date.
Because he used to be pretty and he's only ugly now because he kissed a poisonous weevil.
It is said that when you returned from your voyage, you celebrated for months on end, each day sinking a little further into drinking and debauchery until you began keeping company with the worst kind of insects, even poisonous ones, like a certain pretty young, weevil.
Silence!
I don't know what that means. And he blames it on being drunk.
I was drunk.
Well, if you can't hold your liquor.
So that's fun in a kid's movie. Then they all get captured and Grandpa's in the cell that they get thrown into, and then Malthazar is like, I'll let you guys leave, but he's really gonna drown them.
I can't go on. And what's the point of running anyway?
Grandpa, come on, hurry!
You go on. I'm staying here to wait my death with a little dignity.
Come on, Grandpa, you can do it!
Arthur, what's the point?
So then they run and they beat the water and they get all the way back to the Minimoy land and they close the door and they send Arthur back up to the human world. And now Arthur's a human again. And just before they left Malthazar's lair, Arthur told this little gerbil looking thing to send a signal to him at noon tomorrow.
Your father sent me. I'll get you out of here. But you need to signal your position at noon. Precisely. Signal my position. How? Using your mirrors, Peter. Mirrors. Oh, yes. Mirrors.
That's enough. Patience is the only thing for which I set myself a limit.
So then the next day, he waits for the signal and he sees it. And he takes a tennis ball that he got for his birthday earlier in the movie. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Super important context. Takes a tennis ball and drops it down the pipe and it falls and it bounces all around and it blocks up their little lair and it fills with water and they all drown and it's very violent.
Father, get me!
The rubies float up to the top and Arthur runs the rubies inside and they save the day just in time. Woohoo! That's the movie. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about how horny the movie is. The love interest, the princess, is played by Madonna, who at the time was not young. Let's see. I'm going to type in Madonna age 2006. Ooh. She was the love interest of a 10-year-old boy. From the first point Arthur sees her, he sees her in Grandpa's journal, which Grandma says Grandpa wrote when Arthur's mother was being born.
This magnificent sunset was all ours. It's precisely into this landscape that your mother came into the world. While I was having the baby, your grandfather was painting this.
So this journal is at least like 40 years old, I'd say, at least. And in this journal, he drew a picture of the princess 40 years ago. So that means the princess is at least like, what? Fucking 40, right? But Arthur sees her picture and goes,
She's beautiful.
not a good start. And then a few minutes later, he's looking in the book again, and he kisses the picture of the princess.
I've had the honor of meeting you one day, Princess. In the meantime, permit me to steal a kiss. Jealous.
It's like obsessed with this little person that's described as tooth size. He like shames the dog. It's weird. And then we finally meet the princess, and our first introduction to her is a shot of her butt. Later in the movie, takes the string off her shirt, just fully without her consent.
I've got an idea.
Hey, just because we're gonna die doesn't mean you can start taking liberties.
No, you got it all wrong. I need the lace to reach that tree over there.
I'm not so sure about this idea of yours.
Well, I'm sure.
Arthur.
And then he tries to get her to drop the shirt completely because he wanted to see some boob.
Hold on with both hands.
Absolutely no way.
This boy's horny.
I'm coming.
Followed up shortly by Arthur telling her that he can put a baby in her.
But to have children, you need a husband.
And then she falls asleep next to her, and he just decides to cuddle with her while she's sleeping, even though she's very obviously uninterested at this point.
Come on, time to get up.
And then the best shot of the movie is when he opens the door for her to get into a car, and she like wiggles her butt, and Arthur does like the face.
The young lady would care to step this way.
Oh, God, whatever.
The writers realize that this is creepy, though, at some point, because they try to retcon it a little bit. They have this scene of Arthur sitting in a bar saying he's too young for her and she's way too old for him and blah, 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 because she's like 1,000 years old, apparently.
She's too old for me anyway. She's 1,000. I'm only 10.
While he's all sad, she comes over and grabs his hand and takes him dancing. And while they're dancing, she tells him conveniently that 1,000 years to her is about the same age as him. So they're actually the same age, and that she never even looked like a child. She was born looking like a full-grown adult. So it's appropriate for them to be together. But I don't think they really thought about the fact that Grandpa drew a picture of her 40 years ago. She's not 10. She's like 40. But Arthur thinks like, oh, shoot. Well, I guess I have a chance then. And he does. Like I said, they get married. They kiss, and then there's a bunch of sexual tension afterward.
I married a princess.
A happy princess. Because she's finally found her Prince Charming.
Which was just super fucking weird, because again, it's a child talking to Madonna. And the last line of the movie is the princess telling him that she'll wait for him. It just feels gross. It just feels weird. Why is the love interest for this child a grown-ass woman? Another weird aspect of this movie is just Snoop Dogg in general. Snoop Dogg is like this penis-fingered bug that owns the bar that Arthur and the princess had their conversation in. The drink of choice in this bar is like monster jizz. He's really creepy. He pretty much tells the princess that he could have sex with her all day and all night.
Hey, take it easy.
If you want to find a husband in 2 days, then there's no time to lose. But I can help you out if you like.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Thanks.
I like to help out. Besides which, things are pretty tame right now. I only have 7 wives.
Wow, 7 wives. That, must take a lot out of you.
I like hard work. I can work night and day, 7 days a week, and I never get tired.
Wonderful.
He just pretty much tells her he can fuck her, and then he just like hits a bowl. And then he's out of the movie. Like, it's who is this movie for? This is a kid's movie? And you have David Bowie as Malthazar, which there really isn't anything to say about. He's just like a run-of-the-mill evil guy. Nothing very interesting at all. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing to say about Malthazar. And then there's Arthur, the horny little bastard who is British. And that's only an issue because nobody else in his family is British. Not his grandpa.
You're right.
Not his mom.
We're not going to be able to make it, Arthur.
Not his dad.
Just joking, son.
Not his grandma.
Well, she'll call back in a second.
Granny!
Nobody is British. There is one line in the movie that his dad says where he has like a slight British accent.
Thought we'd forgot, didn't you?
But then it goes away. And also his dad is dubbed over for the whole movie. It's really weird. So is this one tribe dude. He's dubbed over for the whole movie too.
Your heart is the strongest of weapons.
Okay.
And I don't know why they dubbed over these two. I guess they just didn't have the correct voice for this incredible piece of cinema. But it comes across as like even weirder. It doesn't sound right. I'm getting a little sidetracked. But Arthur is British. Well, no, he's not. He's not British. He's American, but he speaks with a British accent. And nobody else in his family speaks with a British accent, but they explain it in this line.
I spent my whole year in boarding school in England. When I come back for vacation, they're not even here.
He spent a year in England at boarding school and came home talking like this. Who is he? Austin Butler? That was like in the beginning of the movie when they say that too, and I realized right then this movie is going to be incredible. And it was. It was. That part is one of my favorite parts of the movies, and also the part where Madonna bends over and he goes. That's my second favorite part of the movie. Actually, no, it's probably my first favorite part of the movie. I'm not going to explain why that's my first.
Leave me alone!
A lot of things happen in this movie that make no sense. Mainly this scene where Arthur is setting up going to the land of the Minimoys, where he first drugs his grandma, and she threatens to drug him too.
I thought you were in the shower.
No, I was in the living room looking for my sleeping drops. And if you don't get back into bed this second, I'm going to make you drink the whole bottle.
Which is really strange, because that's out of character. Until that point, she's like super sweet, and then she's like, I'm going to drug you and lock you in your room.
You know, I don't like to do this, but I'm going to lock you in. I don't want you to do anything stupid tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
So Arthur, in turn, accidentally drugs his grandma, and what is that, chloroform? The hell? It knocked her out cold. And then Arthur steals her car for no reason and drives it around the house and just crashes into a tree. That made no sense. And then it shows the tribe people like show up, and Arthur runs down the stairs with these statues, but those people are already there, so it's not like he summoned them. And then he falls and breaks the statues, and they walk inside. And I think the idea was that like he summoned them by breaking the statues, but they showed them there before he broke the statues, so that didn't make any sense either. And like, what did the statues have to do with anything? Why did that matter? The movie made no sense. Also, the parents are like weirdly racist. Like, the tribe, the men in the tribe show up at the end of the movie to help Arthur come back to the real world, and all the parents do is see these black men, and they pass out. Like, both of them take turns passing out.
Noise, it sounds like there's running water under.
Oh, great. Now you're hearing voices just like Joan of Arc did. Next thing you know, you're going to be seeing little angels and great big ghosts with spears and armor coming after you.
Wait, I wanted to turn around. There were just large men's necklaces and feathers, and I don't know. Hi.
What's up?
Would you happen to have the time, please?
The Minimoys.
Oh!
And then the dad runs inside and says this.
What's wrong? The phone's cut off. It doesn't work. What is wrong?
Out there.
What's out there? Five what?
Black.
Yeah. The whole movie feels like subtly racist, just like slightly subtly racist, but this part just feels like, okay, yeah, they're racist. That's the joke. That's the joke there. When they're wrapping it up, whenever they get the rubies and Grandpa hands it to the banker to be like, fuck off, dude, the banker grabs a gun out of one of the cops' holsters and is like, I'm gonna shoot ya, and tries taking the rubies, but then the men in the tribe poke him with some staffs, and then they arrest him, and then they have a feast afterwards. And this dude tries to toast the person across from him. They leave him hanging, but don't worry. A few seconds later, they do finish the toast after the mom passes out because the food was foreign.
What is that?
My favorite dish, African giraffe's neck.
What?
Honey, Rosie, Kitty, come on, Rosie, wake up, honey.
Ow!
And when she does that, two of the men in the tribe high-five each other. I don't understand the movie. But I love it. But I like the movie. This video's gonna suck. This video's gonna be so bad. I didn't have any, like, plot synopsis. It was all over the place. And that's fine. I think this video is gonna be great. And I made many more. If you like the video, please like the video. If you don't like the video, I don't care. I don't. I made an outro. I made this outro. Till next time, motherfuckers. Wait, I forgot to talk about the part where Arthur busts a nut.
Goodbye.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye.